Stay tuned to Trust Raw Facts. I'm Augustine Trust. Today we will tackle the all-important issue of submitting paperwork to the court's clerk, and what to do if the paperwork is not submitted, or if the court clerk refuses to accept or submit the affidavit. Listo. Vamos. Let's get edified. The court clerk, serving and filing pleadings and other papers, notarized affidavits. Let's begin. We must first define a few words. There are words you will hear in this video, which to the layman would have an assumed meaning. The definitions are by state decree, and of course, Trust, Raw, Facts, as always provides the Black's Law version of some of these words. We will define, as many Americans have had issues with filing paperwork with the court clerk. It is of utmost importance to understand the words you will read and the legalese meanings behind them. Let us help you reduce confusion experienced through the process and procedure. Court decree. A court decree is a legally binding order or decision made by a judge to resolve a court case. It can be final, meaning all issues in the case are settled, or interlocutory, meaning it is not a final decision. Decrees can be used to address rights that are not recognized by common law. For example, a judge may issue a decree in favor of specific performance in a contract case. Party, Black's Law Dictionary, says a party is a person concerned or having or taking part in any affair, matter, transaction, or proceeding considered individually. The term parties includes all persons who are directly interested in the subject matter in issue, who have a right to make defense, control the proceedings, or appeal from the judgment. Party, Black's Law Dictionary, says strangers are persons who do not possess these rights. Party is a technical word and has a precise meaning in legal parlance. By it is understood he or they by or against whom a suit is brought, whether in law or equity. The party plaintiff or defendant, whether composed of one or more individuals, and whether natural or legal persons, they are parties in the writ and parties on the record, and all others who may be affected by the suit, indirectly or consequentially, are persons interested, but not parties. Words and terms. AOC. AOC means the Administrative Office of the Courts. Case Management System. A case management system is an electronic database that is maintained by the court or clerk and used to track information related to the court's caseload, such as case numbers, party names, attorneys for parties, titles of all documents filed in a case, and all scheduled events in a case. Clerk. Clerk means the clerk of a court that has implemented an electronic filing system, a conversion system, or both. Conversion. Conversion is the process of changing court records from one medium to another, or from one format to another, including, but not limited to, changing paper records to electronic records, changing microfilm to electronic records, or vice versa, changing paper records to microfilmed records. Document Management System. A document management system is an electronic database containing documents in electronic form and structured to allow access to documents based on index fields, such as case number, filing date, type of document, etc., etc. Electronic document. An electronic document includes the electronic form of pleadings, notices, motions, orders, paper exhibits, briefs, judgments, writs of execution, and other papers. Unless the context requires otherwise, the term document in these rules refers to an electronic document. Electronic filing service provider. An electronic filing service provider, or service provider, is a person or entity authorized under these rules to furnish and maintain an electronic filing system, or to receive an electronic document from a person for submission to an electronic filing system. When submitting documents, a service provider does so on behalf of the filer and not as an agent of the court. Electronic filing system. An electronic filing system, or EFS, is a system implemented or approved by a court for electronic submission, filing, and service of documents. The term includes an EFS operated by a service provider. Please do not forget about purpose, scope, and application of rules. Clerk's refusal of documents. The clerk must not refuse to accept for filing any paper presented for that purpose solely because it is not presented in proper form as required by these rules or by any local rule or practice. We have been seeing a lot of interesting things lately with court clerks. We do advise DYR or doing your own research before you file a document, affidavit or the sort, with the court. Recently, particularly with people that are pro se, some clerks try telling them they don't want to file something. It is the clerk's job to organize everything presented for filing. The clerk is not a gatekeeper, but here is the quiet part. They may be a trusted confidant of the judge. We advise you, do not make adversary of the clerk. It is important to corroborate the facts. This is to be done through process and procedure, not as an enemy combative. It is the court clerk's job to organize everything presented for filing. And there's a statute specifically to this point. Titled 12 Section 29, here is what subsection A says. It is the duty of the clerk of each of the courts to file together and carefully preserve in his office all papers delivered to him for that purpose. Also, with the statute titled 12 Section 29, is the exception, and that is subsection B. The court clerk may refuse to file any document presented for filing if the clerk believes that the document constitutes a sham legal process. Gentle reminder, do your research and get the documents notarized if you can. You can. What is a sham legal process? This means there's some sort of fraud going on. But here's the other exception. If the court clerk believes it's a sham legal process, they still have to file it. You, as the person trying to file it, can petition the court for a writ of mandamus, and there's this form that's listed in the statute, a notice of refusal, and the court clerk has to have that form. If they refuse to file something you want to file, you request the notice of refusal form. You fill that out, and then they have to attach it to that file, and still file it. And then at that point, you can file your petition for writ of mandamus, requesting the court review for whether you can file that thing or not. I.e., is it a sham legal process or is it not? Because they're required to file everything regularly if it's not a sham legal process. If they believe it is a sham legal process, they still have to file it, but the file is attached to a notice of refusal because their entire job is to accept things for filing, to stamp it, so you know whether deadlines have been made or not. If they refuse something and you miss a deadline because of that, that's a horrible situation that undermines the integrity of the whole court process, which is why they have to accept everything for filing. Unless it's a sham legal process, in which case they still have to accept it for filing attached to a motion for refusal. Today, TRUSTRAWFACTS has outlined the process, recourse, and the remedy for filing with the court clerk. Hint. The case is bonded in all caps. The clerk is bonded. Bonds are registered with the State Treasurer's Office, if you need to go there. As we edified today, there is a lot to learn about filing documents and affidavits with the court clerk. We will cover more about this specific part of the court procedure in upcoming videos. Gracias por tu tiempo, mi gente. We hope you enjoyed. Stay safe. I'm Augustine, and thank you for learning with Trust Raw Facts.